Kobe. Players take shots when you're not around. For 2 G's, broke niggas and shit chop it down. It's a circus, the game got a lot of clowns. They style worthless, man, that is not the sound. These politicians wanna see my casket in the ground. I'm bucket seat, wood grain, loading the Glock with rounds. A man shouldn't have a need for a gun, but them count pose a threat to me newborn son. Stop me from seeing my daughter's pawn,
not the one.
Secret society.
Put your nines up, let's go.
My mind red strip like I hit the lottery. I flip script, I can mix them properly. I've been this slick since a misfit, probably. Fit your description, no matter which prophecy. Problem with me, then you ain't shit, obviously. I don't be all in this matrix, follow me.
Let's go, put your nines up, let's go. Smash that like button, smash that heart button right now. We about to go in. Never do what they do, never do what they do. I see you, I see you.
It's not a vibe you can show.
It come with a purpose.
Knowledge yourself.
You know what I say in my verses.
Influence the wave to break generational curses.
That's right.
I'm solid and the same in person.
That's right.
America gave us the virus, but we can't be certain who work it.
Come on in, family. Share it like 10 groups right now.
Constant revisions, twisting the law to keep us at odds. A one-way
peace, peace, peace.
Oh,
we live.
Jobs, how you seated at the foot of the law, looking for more.
We live.
Exposing everything is crooked and flawed. It's a natural reaction, us to look at it wrong. Repeat the past like a hook to a song. Gotta keep it 100 like I'm pushing that raw. It's that hunger you feel right before you booking that star.
Let me know where you from.
Enemies don't even need a reason at all.
This song is available on all streaming platforms. It's off that So Below album. Come on in, family. Put your nines up. Smash that heart button. Smash that like button right now. Let's go. Let's go. Smash that like button right now. Smash that heart button. Subscribe if you haven't. Let's get the algorithm kicking. You already know how we do, family. This is what we do. I want to shout out my first nine before we get started. Iris Ann was on here mad early. Shout out to Iris Ann X. I see you. Grand Rising to you. Oshi So Fly is in the building. Shout out to you. That's a couple days in a row. She's so fly that made the top 9. I Am Boss is in the building. Peace, peace, peace. Consistent supporter. I see you out of St. Louis. Mark Blake out of Jamaica. Plays no games. Always in the top at number 4. We got Burner B at number 5. We got Cynthia Lanyard at number 6 with her nines up. Peace, peace, peace. African DNA. Shout out to African DNA. We got Body by Brazil out of Cleveland. I see you. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's the 9. Shout out the first 9. Yo, J Chill, you just made it. You just made it. Sorry, Tasha, you came in at 10. Shout out to everybody in the feed. All right, we're gonna get into this. Put your nines up, family. Put your nines up. You already know. Hit that like button. Smash that heart button. Let's get the algorithm kicking as we grow here today. Before we get started, though, I want to make sure that we get the energy right and exact. Let's get your Tibet singing bowls out. Let's get your power bracelets on. We about to link up. Get on one accord today. This is what it looks like when you're on one accord. Let's go. Feel the vibes. Feel the healing energy. That was a good one. That was a good one. We snatching up that good 432 hertz energy right now. We snatching it up this morning. We use our Tibet singing bowls to charge our drinking water in the morning. First thing that we ingest in our body. is the frequency of love into our hearts by charging our water to a specific frequency that vibrates on that level. So before we get going, let me pull up what I have here for you guys, because we're going to be talking today about signs of awakening. Signs of awakening. Many of you who have already woken will relate to this, and those of you who are unsure as to what is happening with you today and in today's day and time, and the reason why you're probably here is because you're probably segueing into a realm, a new dimension of consciousness that is causing you to awaken. So if you're feeling some of these different things that we're going to be talking about today, we're probably talking to you. So what I want you to do before we get started, if you know anybody that you think may be waking up or somewhere close to that, I want you to share it with them right now. I want you to share it with them. Okay. So let's go. First and foremost, there's several signs of awakening. And what we have to realize is that everybody's different, right? Everybody's different. This may happen in a different order as to how I'm going to give it to you. But ultimately, these are going to be some characteristics and signs that you may be an enlightened individual or becoming into that space of an awakened individual, right? What some people say, third eye awakening, things of that nature, right? But there's levels to this. But we're going to start off with this, right? When you first start waking up, for me, one of the first things that I realize is that you're going to have these different sides of you that you're going to begin to realize that you have. You're going to realize that there are different energies that you're able to tap into to define yourself and to express yourself now. You will no longer be linear. You won't have a linear approach to life anymore. You won't see things from one way, which is usually the way that it was given to you or fed to you. You'll begin to develop multiple perspectives about life. So what we're going to do is we're going to tap into those different perspectives and the things that are going to happen to you along the way, so you can have a better understanding when they hit you. And that this way it won't be such a shock, right? You know how when you first wake up, it could be a real shocker. Like, whoa, what just happened? Right? So the first thing that we're going to deal with, right? We're going to do 11 signs today of spiritual awakening. First one we're going to deal with is you feel disconnected. You feel disconnected. Okay? First thing, when you wake up, what happens is you get to a point where you're like, well, what do I do now? Right? This may be you. You're like, what now? You may be in a state of confusion. That's probably the number one question that I get. Jamar, I just woke up. What next? Right? You may find yourself in a space where you feel confused because everything that you learned or you thought that you knew, right, is no longer what it was. So in your awakening, you may, first and foremost, as soon as it happens, be a little bit discombobulated, and that's okay, right? Before we move any further, I want you to understand that all these stages of awakening and consciousness that we're going to go over is okay. What's not okay is if you cannot recognize it, right? Because then you're not truly awakened. You were just thrown out into the wolves, right? And you're pretty much a disaster waiting to happen. Consciousness is not always good for people who don't understand what is happening to them and what is going on. Major key. The worst thing you could do is give a piece of information to somebody who's not ready for it. Okay? That's the worst thing you can do. Those of you who have been this for a while, seasoned, the worst thing you can do is serve somebody a piece of information, right, that they are not ready for. Do never force consciousness or an awakening on someone. Literally, it could cost them their life. It could literally cost them their life. So at first glance, you may feel like you're separated, right? When it first happens, you're gonna feel like, everybody's not like me, and I'm not like everybody else. I truly believe I'm different, right? You may feel more empowered when you're alone than when you're around other people. You're gonna feel more empowered in your own mind and comfortable in your own heart and spirit than being exposed to all of the different elements and things that distract you in life and that are around you, the things that bring you down or the things that take off your focus. You will find that what we call loneliness or isolation, right, is an empowering situation for you. This is first glance. One of the first things that's going to happen is you're going to cut yourself off from society, maybe, right? For some people, they cut themselves off of family or they cut themselves off of friends. But at some point, there's going to be a detachment to what you're used to doing, to what you normally used to do, right? The next thing that's going to happen, right? Very, very common, is that deja vus are going to start popping up everywhere. Everywhere. Deja vus. Okay? And these particular deja vus are going to start happening in sporadic moments, but you're going to be more familiar as to why they start happening because they're going to happen so often, right? You're going to begin to actually almost pinpoint them. You're going to be almost able to manipulate the outcomes of these deja vus, meaning you're almost going to be living your parallel life, right? All these different parallel lives at the same time, okay? At the same time. Because part of the awakening, let me show you something here. Part of the awakening is recognizing that these different things that I showed you, these different versions of yourself, right? There's no on-off switch for these. They're always working at all times. These different versions of yourself in different dimensions. You are in totally different dimensions all the time, right? In and out of different dimensions, all day long, all night long. This is what we do. This is what the Ba does. This is what us as humans have the ability to do. We can go in and out of our bodies however we feel like it. You can separate the mind from the body as you're skilled anytime you feel like it. So you're going through all these different things during the day, right? And during the night and these different phases. Some of them you'll remember, you're storing your brain and you'll recognize and you'll probably make actions and different things off of them, right? But then there's other things where, it will lay dormant, right? Like when we talk about the coral of the snake, when you see the ancient Kemites and they wear the erases on their head and they say that, our consciousness is dormant, right? So many of it will stay tucked away until you're ready to pull it out and start to analyze it. But it's always working. And this is what I want you to understand. It's always working. All the different levels of you, the high ascension levels, the high frequencies and the low frequencies, they're all working at the same time because they're all attached to one another. Okay? A wavelength is always attached. The highs and the lows is still attached to each other. It's not separate. A lot of times when we wake up, we like to act like, we're brand new or whole different. No, you're still attached to your lower self, your mid self, your high self. All these chakras are in an attachment to one another. It may not be in alignment, right? Major key, but they are attached to one another. And I need you to understand that. Okay. Now, next stage I want to talk about. We're going to go here. You're going to experience synchronicities. Synchronicities, right? Now, so what is synchronicities? You're thinking of something, right? You're thinking of a person, right? All of a sudden, this person calls out of the blue, right? You literally just thought about it. There's no reason for this person to call right now. All of a sudden, they just give you a call. You're like, oh my God, I just think about. Now, here's the thing. These synchronicities were always happening, first and foremost. Always happening. Part of the awakening is you're going to recognize the synchronicities. Okay? See, this whole time while you were sleeping, you were missing out on synchronicities. Synchronicities is probably the dopest. That's the dopest ride that I'm going on right now is the synchronicities. I love the synchronicities because it doesn't stop, right? The things that you think are just coincidences or just happening, they're not. They're not. Okay? So you're going to start to realize that, these things are always in play. It's not a mistake. It's not. And the more you go on this ride, the better your life is going to be. I promise you. When you start to synchronize with different things, you can, the same way you can link the deja vus, you'll be able to link the synchronicities. You're going to be like, nope, because this is going to align. I already know how this is going down. Watch. And that's when it becomes fun. when you can actually sit back and say, watch how this plays out. I already know how it's going to play out because you're living in several dimensions at the same time. You can see the layers. When you get there, that's when you're going to realize, wow, I have power. Power. Right? We look at folks and we say, oh yeah, this person must have been a prophet. They was able to tell a future, or nah, that's not how it go. That's not how it go. They're just tapped in to the things that they know are going to link up synchronized wise with themselves, with their divine selves, with their higher selves. They stay in alignment with the things that are within that threshold on that same frequency. So no matter what, the moves that they make is always going to be in harmony, right? Synchronicities deal with harmony. It deals with matching vibrations, matching frequencies, right? That are stacked. They're stacking on one another. So you're realizing like, oh yeah, I'm singing this note. This person is singing the same exact note that I am. They're vibrating on the same exact frequency. It may be a higher or lower octave, right? Not just higher. There's a lower octave too, right? There's bass, alto, right? And then there's treble, right? You have layers. So these things are stackable, and that's only 3. There's layers upon layers upon layers of harmony and synchronicity that you can form with different places, people, and things that are vibrating on the same frequency as you. Right? Somebody on the other side of the planet can see the same thing that you're seeing, right? They can see the same exact thing that's going on. Even though they're at a different angle, they still can render it the same way that you're rendering it. Even though they're on a lower level, they can understand what you're saying, right? If they intellectually on a lower level, or spiritually on a lower level, emotionally on a lower level, financially on a level, it does not mean they don't understand what you're saying and they can't harmonize with you. They'll be able to sync up with what it is that you're doing. So let's go. Next one. Spirituality becomes more important. Number 4, spirituality becomes more important, right? Why? Because what's going to begin to happen is as you begin to make these movements of spirituality through this awakening, it's going to become contingent upon your consciousness. It's going to become contingent upon your awakening. Your level ups and your maintenance will be based upon your conscious level. Major key. Your level of ascension, your manifestation, your level of manifestation, your level of spiritual awakening, right, is going to be based upon your interest and what you delve into it. You know how many people that I hear, they say, yo, I want to make money, right? I'm like, oh, where? All right, cool. What books you reading, or what documentaries you reading? What are you getting into? I don't know. I'm looking into getting into. Okay, so what exactly are you trying to do, right? What exactly are you trying to do? You know how many people, talk about what it is they want to do, but they never actually go and do it or do anything to actually move themselves in that direction? Right? If you don't know anything about making money, I think you should study money. I don't know. I can't call it. If you don't know how to be successful, maybe you need to study success in people who have been successful. I don't know. Huh? I just know ain't nobody gonna come and tell you how to do it, right? If you want to study how to be if you want to be a healer, you got to study healers. You got to study the things that you're looking for, right? You got to take your walk seriously. So once you get to the point where you tie in your very means of survival to your spiritual prowess, oh man, you're dangerous. You're dangerous.
To this day.
You're dangerous. Because now every move that you make is tapped in to your spiritual walk. Every move that you make, how you make your money, how you love on your family, right? How you move about throughout the world. All of that is attached to your spiritual prowess, to your knowledge, to your consciousness, your level of consciousness. You wouldn't be able to go back if you wanted to. You wouldn't be able to because you have already passed the threshold. This is the thing about people who wake up. They either get it by choice or trauma. And by either way, it don't matter. Once they woke, they woke. They're not going back. They're not going back. It don't matter. I don't care how you get it. I don't care how you get it. The awakening is about knowledge of self. It's not about reading a whole bunch of books and just things about the whole world. It's about how you render it and how you interpret it. Most importantly, because that's the universe that you're going to be in for the rest of your life while you're here. That's the thing that's going to dictate how this thing actually plays out in your life, if it's even important. If it's even important. For some people, you could be so far off, what spirituality ain't even your thing. You might just need to just, just live. You know what I mean? Because you don't, if you can't put no work in with the knowledge that you're using, what are you getting it for? You can't take it with you. You see what I'm saying? You got to use it here on earth. Otherwise, it's useless. Right? So, let's delve into the next one. Your relationship shifts. Oh my goodness. This is, I wish like I could have put this at number 1, but everybody doesn't have a relationship. So I'm going to say this. This is probably one of the biggest things, the relationship shift, number 5, because it's going to look 2 ways. It's either going to look like this or it's going to look like this. It's going to look like this or it's going to look like this. Okay? This one is underrated. This one's underrated. The relationship shift is major during a spiritual awakening. Sometimes, and in most cases, people don't realize their spiritual awakening until this happens. Until this happens. Because chances are, when you spiritually awake, you're awakening, like I told you before, by yourself. By yourself. Nobody wakes up at the same time, family. It just doesn't happen. The awakening is an internal journey that happens by yourself. So in order for your partner to be on board with what's going on and what's about to go down, guess whose responsibility it is? Guess whose responsibility it is? You have to be vocal about what it is you're going through when you're in a relationship. You have to be vocal about the changes that you're making because your partner is riding this ride with you. So you have to, the books that you're reading, the documentaries you're watching, the new people you're associating with, the thoughts that you're thinking in your mind in seclusion, right? At some point, you're going to have to share those things. At some point, you're going to have to make sure that your partner is on pace with you. You can't just go off onto another planet unless you're planning on making a move, right? For some people, they know right off the rip that this isn't going to work. I'm going to have to make a move. I'm going to have to make a play because if it's not going to look like this, I don't want it. That's what the awakening is going to show you. The awakening is going to show you the differences, what it looks like, a true relationship of divine masculine, divine feminine energy is going to reveal that to you in the process. And you may be looking at your situation saying, hey, this is not it. And then you're now going to have to reevaluate, can I actually make this it? And if you can't make this it, chances are you might end up moving on. You might end up moving on. And that's something you're going to have to deal with because that can be brain wrecking. It can be brain wrecking rather. To where you get to a point where everybody and everything is frustrating you around you because home is not good, right? Because you're on a level where you feel like you're the smartest in the classroom, right? That ego comes into play. You're the smartest in the classroom and everybody around you ain't getting it. And especially your partner, you are unequally yoked, as they say, right? All these different new personalities that you're dealing with now, right? You got to introduce these people to him. Huh? You now got to introduce all these new people to her. Right? Let's talk about it. These are the stages of awakenings that nobody wants to talk about. That relationship thing, that's probably the number 2 on my list as to what I get. right? The first thing is, what do I do now? The number two I get is, yo, my girl, yo, my man. It's usually the girl. I'm telling you right now, I'm in this business. I know what it is. It's usually the girl, the woman that is not ready to be attached to what's going on. It's usually that. But sometimes it's the man, right? The woman has woken up, but the man is still attached to religion or whatever. It's very rare. Most men can usually, think directly out the box. But a man, let me tell you, brothers, you're dealing with a programmed female, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy to get it to this stage. It's not. It's not. There are so many things that are set, and it's not the woman's fault. It's not the divine masculine fault. There are so many traps and so much propaganda that is created for black women to not know who they are. I mean, we just got Woman King this year, and that's not even a real film. We literally just got Woman King this year. Like, they ain't been black queens since forever. We literally, we just got it. You see what I'm saying? So, we've been seeing black kings all our lives, and we still have men who don't see themselves as kings. You see what I'm saying? And that's what all of this propaganda that's been showing black kings now. We've been having that for a while now. But black women, we haven't seen it. We haven't seen it. If you're learning something new today, smash that heart button right now. Let's go. Let's do the check-in. We got 73 people on right now getting this work. Smash that like button, smash that heart button. That's all you got to do. So keep it moving. Next stage. That's a big one. That's a big one. Okay, so just understand these things are normal. These things are normal. Don't freak out when you start seeing it happen. Just stay cool. Okay, it's part of the process, right? Awakening is a process. It's not a, say, I'm woken out. No, it's a process, and it never ends. It never ends. Next, you're sensitive to phoniness. You're sensitive to phoniness. Woo! Let's talk about it. Sensitive to phoniness. You can't do it no more. You just can't do it no more. When it's fake. Y'all see my number one selling merch is that Jesus fake brush shirt, right? That Jesus fake brush shirt is literally the number one thing that sells in my store. Now we got it in a hoodie, so if you need to get that, go and get that. But in any case, that Jesus fake brush shirt sells the way that sells, because once you get tired of the phoniness, you become very bold in it, and you will be able to say, nope, that's fake. I'm not rocking with it no more. And you're not gonna handle it. You're not going to stand for it. Anybody that comes around you and brings you anything that's not authentic, you're not going to be down with it. You're not going to have any type of energy that you want to put into it if it's not real. You're going to be like, looking at folk like, that's not the wave. You're going to be looking at things that you used to do, like, for real? What's the truth? Don't just sell me any old story. Don't just sell me anything. What are the particulars? You're going to want to know the variables, right? You're going to be real sensitive to things that are not real. Friends, family, level, right? This is how it starts with relationships, right? You may realize that your partner is phony. Huh? You might, in this process, you might, on your awakening, you're going to be like, yo, this mad fake, right? This dude is fake as hell. He or she is not who I thought they were, right? And you're going to be looking at it from like every angle, like, this is not real. You might look at your own mama or your own daddy like, this is phony. Do you know how hard that is to digest? Especially when there's no implication as to how it was going prior to that. Everything was cool up until that moment when you woke up, right? It's like the Wizard of Oz when you're watching everything going on and you got to see behind the curtain, but you're the only one who got to see behind the curtain. And now you're coming back and you got to tell everybody what's behind the curtain. And they're sitting there like, no, this movie's great. And you're like, what? I thought you were smart. I thought you understood what was going on. This is not it. Look, I found the truth. Right? And then you're going to realize they're going to look at you and they might look at you and just keep going. And you're going to be like, oh, you're phony. You're not real. You don't want to take it further. You want to stay here. Right? You want to stay in this level of energy, of low vibrational energy that's not conducive to us. You have no intentions on leveling up spiritually whatsoever. Right? It's all about what we can see versus what is actually real. We want to look good and not be good. I just want to enjoy the movie. Never mind what the movie is actually doing to us and what they're programming us to do. Never mind that. Let's just enjoy the entertainment. Right? You're going to be sensitive to that and you're going to look at them and you're going to say, you know what? You're fake. You're phony. I can't do this anymore. That's what happens. That's what happens. Right? I can't enjoy the movies the way people enjoy movies now. I'm constantly looking for the message. I'm constantly looking for the overall theme, right? In between the lines. Some people could just watch a movie and enjoy it and have fun. I can't do it anymore. I'm sensitive to phoniness. Movies is going to be a problem, period, because you know that everybody's acting. No matter what's going on, no matter what it is, when you're watching this, everyone is acting. So it's going to be hard for you to watch it without peeping the message that is being sent to you. Let's keep it moving. You feel more intuitive is number 7. You will feel more intuitive. Intuition. What are we talking about when we talk about intuition? We're talking about that gut, right? That gut, right? Sacral chakra. Because what's going to happen is you're going to start stimulating these different chakras, right? Inadvertently without you even knowing it. And one of the easiest ones to stimulate is that area here, that intuitive area, especially for women, okay? Women are always very conscious of their womb to their sacral area, the tummy area. They're always dealing with that. So they're very, very attached to that area in a spiritual sense to where they're conscious of it. Not so much fellas, right? Divine masculine energy, we don't really be thinking about our bellies too much and what's going on in there, right? And we have to start, really delving into that a lot more, I would say, for divine masculine, for the men. Delve into the sacral area and the intuitive area. The things that, when we say going with your gut, you need to do that a lot more now, right? I know that society has taught you about planning and dealing with all the different variables that come into play, right? But because all these different variables are happening and you have to pay attention to all these different variables and perspectives, right? Ultimately, when you look in the middle, there's only one decision to make. That's the overall decision. That's the gut. That's that feeling like, you know what? The universe is going to talk to you about this one really quick, right? And the thing about the intuition when it kicks in, you don't know when it's going to kick in. It just happens, right? This is an involuntary response, the same way you look for your mother's breast when you're first born. It's intuition. It's intuition. You just need to be conscious of it, and you need to listen, right? Now, all the bad things that you've done in life, all the bad results that you've done in life, at some point in time, your intuition kicked in and told you, bruh, I don't think you should do that. At some point in time, that bad decision that you made in life, that little person on the inside in your gut said, listen here, girl, I trust you, but I don't think you should do this. And you either listened to him or her or you didn't, right? That's how it played out. That's the part that people don't really talk about, is that you knew. Your intuition kicked in and told you, this ain't going to work out the way you think. I don't think we should deal with the mind right now. I think we should deal with the heart and the gut. Your intuition was telling you right then and there, but they fed you all this stuff in your mind. You know how to say they got in your head? This nigga done got it, right? At some point in time, right, that gut had popped up on you, sis, and was telling you before you made your decision, I think you need to just chill. I don't think you need to do this, right? Or you should do this, and you didn't do it, right? And now you're paying the price. So understanding that dynamic is very, very important. Intuition is big. That's a very, very powerful tool, especially for divine feminine energies. My man, we got to work on this. We got to work on listening to our gut. This is something that I'm very, very active, very, very attentive to, especially in this day and time. I'm very, very keen in making sure that I'm going with my gut and my intuition on things more so than what you're being told and the logistics, if that makes sense. Next, you're more compassionate. You're more compassionate. Now, I believe that these are high levels of awakening, but for some, it's a lot easier, right? Some people, they just wake up happy. They have compassion for others as well as themselves. And I think for many of us, depending upon how many levels of trauma you may have or generational trauma passed down, this can vary as to how quickly it develops for you, right? To develop compassion, because to develop the compassion while awakened means you're aware of everything that is going on, all the wrong that people are doing, right? All the things that are happening to people. You're aware of all these things. You're conscious of all these things, but the way that you render it is not out of condemnation. Major key. A lot of times when people learn things, they want to condemn people that don't know things, right? As opposed to teaching, they want to condemn, right? So we have to develop, in order to be a teacher, in order to be someone who schools and learns people and teaches people, you have to develop a level of compassion, because you have to understand they're not at the level that you're at, right? So you have to learn how to meet them where they're at. You understand? Yes, grace. You have to be able to give some sort of empathy, right? Some sort of empathy to be able to assist, right? In order to be able to assist, because once you become awakened, it's not just about you anymore. Major key. Not just about you anymore. It's about the others and who the people that you're going to assist, right? You have to now be a beacon. You have to help people to get to where you are, right? You can't leave them, because it doesn't serve you well to leave them behind. It doesn't serve you well. You have no power when you leave them behind. Do you understand? You'll just be this guy for the rest of your life, right? Right? That's when it becomes bad. You just stuck on stupid, right? You just sitting there like, wow, I know that there's more information out there and things that I need to do, but how do I obtain it? The only way you're going to obtain it is you have to have compassion for other people. Let them know, because they're going to be the pieces that help you connect as to what is going on. Someone asked, how long do you assist? You assist as long as it's serving you. You assist as long as it's serving you. If it's not serving you anymore, then you do not assist. Major key. Major key. Self-inflicted wounds have to bleed out. Do you understand? Self-inflicted wounds have to bleed out. But the ones who are actively seeking what's going on, the ones who are actively want to do what it is that you're trying to do and level up, you owe that to them. You owe that to them. That's your responsibility. That's your charge. You must at least be able to give them the information, have enough compassion to where you don't criticize them and you give them information, right? Somebody said unconditional love, not necessarily unconditionally. That's the thing that goes out the window. That's the thing that goes out the window, right? If they're not serving you, right, you don't love things that don't serve you. You don't love things that don't serve you. We're taught that. That's something that we're taught in religion, right? If it's not going to edify the world and the universe that you live in, right? You ain't got to show that thing no love. You keep it pushing. Somebody said, what if they don't get it? They won't. They just might. They just might not. What does that mean? What does that mean? Remember, it's an internal journey first, right? If they don't get it, that's a person that you don't need. Period. There's no in between. It's binary code. If that person doesn't get it, you have to move. You have to pick up your scrolls and walk. You do not cast your pearls to swine. Right? That's what they mean by that. It doesn't mean that they're pigs. It's symbolic. Right? It means that you're wasting your jewels. Right? So the best thing to do is, like we said in the earlier stages, when you have that going on, you have that awakening, is make sure that you're vocal early, so that it ends up like this, right? And not like this. Because they have to see the growth. You can grow. Let me tell you something, in spirituality, you can grow very, very quickly. And it's not because you just become better. You grow apart in those relationships and the people that you're dealing with, those associates. You end up growing apart. And it's not just intimate relationships. It's friendships, right? It's associates. It could be family members. It could be your job. You no longer can work here. You're on a higher level of spirituality. You see things people can't see. I can never work in a mall. I can never be woke and work inside of a mall. I can never do it. All of the symbolism and all the different advertisements that flash in front of my face, it would drive me absolutely insane. Could never do it. During my awakening, I was waiting tables. See what I'm saying? When I really started tapping into who I was waiting tables. And I couldn't work there anymore. All the drinking, all the smoking, people smoking cigarettes, I couldn't do it anymore. Right? I was like, I gotta go get something. I gotta go do something different. I can't work and do these tables and bust these tables down. See what I'm saying? My spiritual awakening was contingent upon the movements that I make. So as I ascended more and I got away from those areas that was bringing me down, all of a sudden, things started to open up. Things started to happen for me because I put myself in that space where I realized this ain't it. Right? So you got to keep it pushing. But in order for you to level up even higher, at some point you're going to have to unify with people who are like you, the like-minded, thus the lighthouse, right? Right? So now you see why the lighthouse is here, right? Because without a universe, this energy can't move. It has to have a village. It can't do it by itself. No matter what religion that you deal with, they always told you that even God had to go and find a human being to orchestrate his work, no matter what it is, right? So if you want to see yourself as a God, if you want to see yourself as an a divine being of nature, no matter what it is, you're going to need humans to make it work because that's what this energy was created for, right? That's what it was manifested into. See? Latoya said, during my awakening, I was working in the medical field. I was a medical assistant for 11 years and walked away from it. Look at that. Won't he do it? Rod did. You know, eventually you're like, yo, I know this medicine ain't helping nobody. You feel conflicted when you realize like, yo, we really just putting this person on this. You know what I mean? Like you gonna feel something, so you can't do it no more, right? Depending upon your situation. Now, some people, you know, they got an honest job. They do what they do, and they know that they helping the universe, and it empowers what they're doing, right? Right? It doesn't mean everything got to change. It could be assisting what you're doing and make you become bigger and better of what you are, right? You can use it to empower. Like I was in the solar industry and things like that. I actually got into the solar industry because of it. Because I was like, you know what? I want to do something that's going to help the environment, right? I deal with Ra. Ra is the sun. So why not? I deal with that. Let's deal with solar, right? I want to deal with the sun. I want to help to be able to utilize the sun's energy to help people to be able to save on their electrical bills. I got into that. That was the business that I delved into, right? From bussing tables and being in servitude to white men in black cards, right? Who want to give me a tip. You see what I'm saying? Like it changes my whole mindset. Like I'm way too ill for this. I remember when I was working at Legal Seafoods, and they was looking at me like, oh, he don't know what he doing. He don't know how to bust tables. And they was looking at me like, huh. And I'm like, you right. I don't know how to bust tables. I'm overqualified for this. I'm out of here. What I look like, mammy? I'm a strong black man out here. I don't need to be doing this. I was boxing at the time. I'm doing all sorts. I'm like, I don't need to be doing this. I'm way bigger than this. I know it, but I ain't found it yet. But I'm gonna figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But in that moment, you know, and this is a lesson for you guys, people might look down on you, right? Because you might have to go backwards to go forwards. Oh, major key. You might gotta go backwards to go forwards. Right? When you in a maze and you end up at a dead end, you can't keep going straight. You just gonna hit the brick wall. Donk, donk, donk. You can turn around. You gotta go back. You might end up right back where you started to go the other direction. Am I lying though? Come on. But you got to be humble enough. You got right when you get into it, right? You got to humble yourself. And then when you start learning, have compassion. Have compassion because somebody else is trying to get to where you was at, where you was, right? Never mind where you are, depending on how far you level, they trying to get to where you was so that they can line themselves up. You see what I'm saying? Next. You're more forgiving, right? You can actually kind of put those together, right? Compassionate kind of leads to being forgiving, right? And when I say forgiveness, right, I don't mean abusive forgiveness, right? When somebody's doing you dirty and they're constantly doing you dirty, and you just keep forgiving, right? If the person can't meet you where you at some point in time, you got to pick up the scrolls and you got to walk, right? Some point you got to pick up the scrolls and you got to walk. Right? So, but you may feel yourself becoming more forgiving, right? Because you have an understanding now. Forgiveness comes with understanding, right? And remember, forgiveness is something that you do for yourself. It's not something that you do for other people. Major key. Do you know why you become more forgiving? You become more forgiving because you realize that that energy is only destroying you and it doesn't destroy anyone else. Major key. When you live in a life of unforgiveness where, and I didn't say forgetness, I said forgiveness, not forgetness. Forgiveness. When you live in a life of unforgiveness, the only person that you destroy is your inner being. You begin to develop negative vibrations that you just constantly recycle throughout your brain and your heart over and over and over and over again. And ultimately what it does, it just stresses you out and it destroys you. That other person is going on with their life. With the person that did you dirty, they usually don't care about the fact that they did you dirty. You care. Right? And you have unforgiveness in your heart. And that stuff actually starts to go inside of your body. It literally starts to metastasize itself with your limbs. It's bad. Unforgiveness is very bad. This is how you age fast, right? One of the things that my mother taught me at a very young age is that when somebody do you dirty, forgive quickly and move on. Move on. Don't let it linger. Because if you allow it to store and you allow it to linger, it's like marinating food. Right? It just becomes more and more engraved and engulfed, right? Inside of you, inside of the meat. It infuses, right? So unforgiveness, you have to let that go quickly, right? You don't have to forget. You don't have to ever forget. You make those adjustments and you when the thing happens, right? So you never forget it. You always keep it in the back of your mind. But the way that you felt or the way that it made you feel, you can't hold on to that. Right? You just have to, the only thing you hold on to is the results and the outcome so you can learn the lesson. But the feelings and how you felt at the moment in time, you have to send that out into the universe. Cast that into the ocean, write it down and burn it up however you got to do it and sail that and dump those ashes out into the ocean. Do a ritual, whatever it is that you do to help you forgive. But you most certainly need to forgive because that is you destroying you when you don't. If you didn't know that, smash that like button, smash that heart button right now. Unforgiveness is not the wave. Forgive quickly. Okay? Next. Getting towards the end now. Teachers find you. Woo! How do you think you got to the lighthouse? We're going to find you. We're going to find you. Right? When the student is ready, the teacher will appear because the teacher is always looking for students, right? The teacher is always looking for students. We told you, in order for us to do what we do, we need people to understand what's going on. We need people tapped in order to create the universe that we're looking for, right? We got to make sure that we have the people to make it work. We got to build the village. So true scholars, true leaders, they're always looking for people to teach. They'll never turn down an opportunity to tell somebody about the legacy. They'll never turn down the opportunity, right? All the different things that you see when we wear these different jewels and we wear, the clothing, right? And we have these different rituals. The reason why we do that is to bring attention to the legacy. When somebody come and they say, yo, I like your chain. What's that? Oh, I like your ring. What's that? Boom, boom, boom. That's an excuse for me now to talk about the Ankh. That's an excuse for me now to talk about the Bayard. It's an excuse for me to talk about all these different things, the pyramids. It's an excuse. You see what I'm saying? That's all it is. That's all it is. And then when we take it and we get it done with the right metals to get our vibration right, you know what I'm saying? All of that is so that we can do the work. All of that is so we can do the work. So we always looking for students. We always looking for people that want to level up and learn because it's conducive to us. So you ain't gonna have no problem. Let me tell you something. When you wake up, you ain't gonna have no problem finding no teachers. I promise you that. I promise you that. When you woke, all of a sudden people just gonna start talking about it around you. And it don't have to be somebody that look like me and dress like me and boom, boom, boom. A teacher could come from anywhere. Major key. A major key. You could definitely be in the hood somewhere, huh? You could definitely be in the hood somewhere and somebody walking down the block, random, who don't even look like they about that life, could have the information that you're looking for to take you to the next level. Because you're going to get to a level where you're going to stop judging people because you're going to realize that everybody's a book. Everybody done been around and seen something and they got knowledge, right? This is actually in the Husia. They talk about that, right? Is it the Husi or the Instructions of Ptah Hotep, I believe? Where they talk about knowledge you can find even at the grindstones amongst the maidens, amongst the poorest of people, you'll be able to find knowledge, right? This is why Jamar Milton doesn't get all uppity. I don't throw on my suit and tie, you know what I'm saying, and walk around like I'm better than. Like, no, because I know that knowledge I might be able to find over here in the park in the hood, right here in the park. I might be able to find the very thing that I'm looking for right here in the street from somebody, right? And I'll get more out of that than sitting down at the foot of somebody for hours. I'll get more out of that just having a conversation about their life and what they've been through and the things that they learn, what their perspective is, because we all grew up in the same hood. How do you have this perspective and I have mine? Oh, I just learned something, right? So that's how that works. It works through conversation. It works through mingling and tapping into those different energies that you normally wouldn't used to do. You see what I'm saying? So, next. Lastly, you feel more connected to nature. You feel more connected to nature. To me, I think that's number one, actually. The nature connection. The nature connection. It's no joke. You know, you get this feeling at first where you're like, okay, where do I go? Where do I go? And then you end up in this lonely space. Like, what is happening to me? Right? You end up going outside and you get up sitting outside by yourself and you're like, what is happening? And then you start to realize that your happy place starts to become outside. Why? All of a sudden now, you want to go outside and sit in the grass. What's happening? Remember you was in the house playing video games, you was in the house drinking your wine, you know, watching your Housewives of Atlanta, City Girls, Bad Girls, Kardashians. All of a sudden now, you looking out the window like, maybe I'm gonna go outside real quick and just sit out here and think. Things start to change. Nature begins to start to speak to you, especially like, you know, during if it's the spring and the summer months when Ra is really doing what it's doing and the energy is moving. You really just want to be outside all the time. You want to begin to travel the world all of a sudden. All of a sudden you want to see different things. Your block ain't doing it no more. It ain't doing it no more. Right? So you end up outside. You end up outside in nature, you and your partner. Because your frequency now begins to resonate with the rest of the world. You're changing your frequency and it's complementary. You know why? Because nature is now in harmony with you. You see? You're developing a relationship with the divine mother. So you become in harmony with the actual world. So now you can't be inside no more with all the artificial light, all the fake stuff, right? The phony stuff we talked about. When things become phony, you're sensitive to the phoniness. So now you just want to be outside to where everything is real. Outside, you know everything is real, right? You're dealing with what the creator made versus what man made for you, right? To protect you from the creator's creations. You want to be outside. So here we go. We have to learn that all these different levels of awakening, right, is not exclusive. This is something that everybody goes through. So it behooves you to share your journey. Share your journey. See what I'm saying? Share your journey with other people. Begin to tap into it and get involved in the culture. Begin to dress like the culture. Talk like the culture. Move like the culture. Make decisions like the culture. Because now you're moving in harmony and synchronicity with how the culture is moving. You can do your own thing to an extent. You have to get involved when you're dealing with the spiritual awakening. You can't do it by yourself. That I promise you. Because the whole point of this is after you have the spiritual awakening is to utilize it to better humanity. But what are you doing it for? Each one teach one. Each one reach one. The reason why you've heard this lesson today is because somebody loves you, whether it's me or somebody who sent it to you. That's the reason why you got this message today. If you learned something, smash that like, heart, and subscribe button right now. If you feel better about yourself and where you're going in this spiritual awakening, and you feel better about some of the stages that you may have gone through that we spoke about today, smash that like, heart button right now and share it to your groups, 10 groups right now. So with that being said, family, it's 10 o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. But before I go ahead and get on out of here, I want to plug the Lighthouse store that we have where you can go and get your merch. You can sign up for your Lighthouse Tibet singing bowls and also your power bracelets, the ones that we use to do our meditation. We have all that on the website as well as some other things. We have clothing on the website. Just go check it out. Click around. You know what I'm saying? Check out some of the stuff that we got in there. You know what I mean? It's kind of high. Yeah, you know, the Lighthouse done leveled up a little something. We about to level up even more. So go ahead into the store. There's products being uploaded every day. Make sure that you subscribe so that as the new products get uploaded, you'll be able to have the email. You'll be on the email blast, and you know when new things coming out, when the sales are popping off, you know, for the holidays and stuff like that. So with that being said, listen, I love y'all. I'm going to play some music to get you to orchestrate and help y'all get on out of here. You know what I mean? Let y'all chop it up in there if y'all want, but you ain't got to go home, but you just can't stay here. Eventually, this is going to close out. So I'm going to play some music so you guys can do your thing. Make sure you let people know where you're from. I want y'all to connect with people who are in your area, you know, like-minded. Make sure y'all doing that. That's why we say put your nines up and let me know where you're from so you can connect with the people that are in your area. You know, this is how the Lighthouse grows, right? By you connecting with others. And, you know, we build something. You know, that's what we're doing. We're going to continue to doing what we're doing, sharing the knowledge, and everybody's going to level up spiritually. It's a beautiful thing. So I appreciate y'all. May the divine force in me greet the divine force in you. May you manifest every heart's of desire to the harm of none and to the good of all. I love y'all. We're going to play some music right now. What should I play? And make sure y'all stream all this music. It's available on all streaming platforms. Jamal Milton, it's your boy. Let's go.
Players take shots when you're not around. For 2 G's, broke niggas that shoot your chopper down. It's a circus, the game got a lot of clowns. They style worthless, man, that is not the sound. These politicians wanna see my casket in the ground. I'm bucket seat, wood grain, loading the Glock with rounds. A man shouldn't have a need for a gun, but them can't pose a threat to me newborn son. Stop me from seeing my daughter's prom, not the one. Secret society, trying to keep their eye on me. My mind red strip like I hit the lottery. I flip script, I can mix them properly. I've been this slick since a misfit, probably. Fit the description, no matter which prophecy. Problem with me, then you ain't shit, obviously. I don't be all in this matrix, follow me. Not a vibe you can show, it come with a purpose. It's knowledge itself, you know what I say in my verses. Influence the wave to break generational curses. Cause I'm silent and the same in person. America gave us the virus, but we can't be certain who working. Pulling the strings behind the curtain. Wizard of Oz, constant revisions, twisting the law to keep us at odds. A one-way ticket to prison of God. Lacking resources and jobs. How you seated at the foot of a law. Looking for more, sugar's a dog. Exposing everything is crooked and flawed. It's a natural reaction, us to look at it wrong. Repeat the past like a hook to a song. Gotta keep it 100 like I'm pushing that raw. It's that hunger you feel right before you book in that stall. May you find your peace by any means, don't even need a reason at all.